Hi students, we will continue with our fifth module of our course Fundamentals of Artificial Intelligence. So as you know that module 5 is about learning, different types of learning. So these were the contents of our fifth module and we saw about different types of learning in our previous videos. In this video, we will be mainly concentrating to Introduction to Natural Language Processing. So before we begin our introduction to natural language processing, let's think about how naturally humans communicate using different languages through speech or text. Every day we used to ask questions, right? And we used to give instructions, we express our emotions and share information using different languages. But computers do not naturally understand human language. So this video mainly focuses on NLP, which is natural language processing, which is one of the important area of artificial intelligence, which enables the machines to understand and work with human languages. So natural language processing is all about making computers learn and understand, analyze, manipulate, and interpret human languages. So as we heard, NLP stands for Natural Language Processing, and this is one of the integral part of artificial intelligence. So, processing of natural language is required when you want an intelligent system like robot to perform as per your instructions, when you want to hear decision from a dialogue-based clinical expert system, etc. So this mainly combines the concepts from computer science, linguistics, and artificial intelligence. So NLP is mainly required for the systems such as robots, as we saw, which follow spoken instructions, dialogue-based expert systems, chatbots, email filters, search engine, or voice assistants like that. So the input and output of an NLP system can be speech or written text, making it very essential for any modern applications to work on. Now let's see some of the applications of natural language processing. First one is sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis, also referred to as opinion mining, which is an approach to natural language processing that identifies the emotional tone behind a body of text. And these organizations mainly use sentimental analysis in order to understand the public opinion about the products, services, or ideas. Okay, so by analyzing data from different types of mails or by using some text analytic tools in order to analyze the online sources such as emails, blog posts, online reviews, news articles, survey responses, case studies, web chats, tweets, forums, and comments. So sentimental analysis uses machine learning models in order to perform the text analysis of human language. So the metrics mainly used to decide to detect whether the overall sentiment of a piece of text is positive, negative, or neutral. So in short, by analyzing data from emails, social media posts, reviews, surveys, news articles, and online discussions, companies can measure customer satisfaction or their brand reputation and also market perception in real time. Now let's see another application, that is text extraction. So there are a number of natural language processing techniques that can be used to extract information from text or unstructured data. These techniques can be used to extract information such as entity names, locations, quantities, and more. With the help of natural language processing, computers can make sense of the vast amount of unstructured text data that is generated every day, and humans can reap the benefits of having this information readily available. So this is one of the main important application of NLP. So that is text extraction. So this mainly involves extracting the useful information from the unstructured data. So large volumes of textual informations are generated in in daily basis, right? That is in the sectors of healthcare, finance, or e-commerce. So NLP techniques can identify entities such as uh, the names, locations, quantities, and relationship within this data. So by converting unstructured text into structured information, what what the organization can analyze, they can get the insights to improve the business process and to make better decisions regarding the business. So as machine learning technology advances, text extraction continues to expand into new domains. So the next one application is text classification. So unstructured text is everywhere, such as emails, chat conversations, websites, and social media. But it is very hard to extract the value from this unstructured data. So text classification is also known as text tagging, or it can be also said as categorization of the text. That is, organizes text into predefined group based on its content. So NLP-based classifiers analyze the text automatically and assigns the appropriate labels based on the categories. So that is what written over here. By using NLP, text classifiers can automatically analyze the text and then assign a set of predefined tags or categories based on its content. That is, the NLP, with the help of NLP, you can categorize the data based on the text which is provided. So, text classification is becoming an increasingly important part of business as it allows to easily get insights from the data and automate the business process. Okay. So, you can tell like this process helps the business manage large volumes of data efficiently, and also this will help to automate their workflow and to get proper insights from their textual informations. So, no, so now let's see another application, that is email filter. So one of the most fundamental and essential applications of NLP online is email filtering. So it began with the spam filters, which identified specific words or phrases that indicate a spam message. But early NLP adaptations filtering has been improved now. So, modern email systems such as Gmail use advanced NLP techniques to categorize emails into groups like primary, social, promotional based on the content that you can see in your Gmail inbox also. So, this automatic organization helps users focus on more important messages while reducing information overload and improving the productivity. Now, let's see the components of natural language processing. So, there are mainly two components of NLP, that is natural language understanding, NLU, and natural language generation, that is NLG. So, now let's see what is NLU and NLG. So, natural language understanding involves transforming human language into machine readable format. It helps the machine to understand and analyze the human language by extracting the text from large data such as keywords, emotions, relations, and semantics. So, natural language understanding focuses on converting the human language into machine readable format by analyzing keywords, semantics, emotions, and the relationships within the text. So, what is natural language generation? It acts as a translator that converts the computerized data into natural language representation. So, NLG involves stages such as text planning, then sentence planning, and text realization. So, generally, understanding human language is more complex than generating it, right? So, making NLU the more challenging component. So, you can tell that the NLU is more harder than NLG. In the previous slide, we saw the two components which involved in natural language processing. Which are the two components that is natural language understanding and natural language generation. Now we are going to see the steps involved in NLP. So basically, there are 5 steps involved in natural language processing. That is, first one is lexical analysis. Next one is syntactic analysis, which is also known as parsing. Next is semantic analysis, then discourse integration, and then pragmatic analysis. So there are mainly 5 steps involved in natural language processing. Now let's go into the steps one by one. The first step is lexical analysis. So in this case, the system reads the text and breaks it into small, meaningful pieces called words or tokens. We can think like this. You are reading a long sentence. Okay. Before understanding the meaning, what will you do? Your brain first separates the sentence into individual words, right? So this is exactly what lexical analysis do. For example, I'm telling a sentence like, I'm drinking coffee now. So this lexical analysis will break it into 5 words. That is, I am drinking coffee now. So instead of one big sentence, the computer now sees small, meaningful units. Okay. So lexical analysis scans the source code as a stream of characters and converts it into the meaningful lexemes. It divides the whole text into paragraphs, sentences, and words. So what is lexeme? A lexeme is a basic unit of meaning. In the case of linguistics, the abstract unit of morphological analysis that corresponds to a set of forms taken by a single word. It is called lexeme. For example, talk, talks, talked, and talking all belong to one lexeme, that is talk. So, lexeme can be individual word or multi-word. For example, in this case, the word talk is an example of an individual word lexeme, which may have grammatic variants like, as I said, talk, talks, talk, then talking. So multi-word lexeme can be made up of more than one orthographic word. For example, speak up, pull through, etc. are the examples of multi-word lexemes. Next is syntax analysis. Okay, syntactic analysis is used to check the grammar, word arrangements, and shows the relationship among the words. The sentence suggests the school goes to boy is rejected by English syntactic analysis. So what this slide says, so syntactic analysis is used to check the grammar in a sentence. So it examines the grammatic structure of a sentence. This is also known as parsing. So it checks whether the arrangement of words follows the rules of the language, and also it determines relationships among them. As we said, the school goes to boy is grammatically incorrect, right? And this will be rejected by a syntactic analyzer because the word order does not follow the standard English grammar rules. Now, the third step is semantic analysis. So, semantic analysis is concerned with the meaning representation. It mainly focuses on the literal meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. So it means that understanding the actual meaning of words and sentence. So after breaking the sentence into words, the system will ask, does this sentence make sense and what is the real meaning behind it? For example, if you're considering first sentence, the cat drank milk. Okay, you can see words are correct, meaning also makes sense, right? So semantic analysis approves that. Whereas in one of the next example, the milk drank the cat. So the sentence is completely wrong, right? Grammar looks correct, but meaning is wrong. So semantic analysis detect this does not does not make it logically correct. So what is semantic analysis? Semantic analysis mainly focuses on understanding the meaning of words and sentences, and also it checks whether a sentence is logically meaningful, and also Even though it is grammatically correct, it will check that whether it is logically meaningful or not. Okay. The semantic analyzer disregards sentences such as hot ice cream. Okay. Another example is Manhattan calls out today passes a syntactic analysis because it is grammatically correct sentence, but it will fail since it is not logically correct. So the next step involves is discourse integration. So discourse integration depends upon the sentences that precedes it and also invokes the meaning of the sentences that follows it. That is, it means that understanding the connection between the multiple sentences and using the context from the earlier sentences in order to understand the later ones. So instead of looking at one sentence alone, the system looks at the whole conversation or the whole paragraph. For example, if you're considering the sentence, Manhattan speaks to all its people, it calls out to Dave. So the next question arises is that what does it refers to? So discourse integration uses the previous sentence and understands that it is equal to Manhattan. Okay. So our first sentence was Manhattan speaks to all its people, and second one is it calls out to Dave. So the question arises is what does it refers to? So it discourse integration go back to the previous sentence and it tries to understand that it is equal to Manhattan. Okay, so discourse integration connects multiple sentences using the context and it helps to identify the references like he, she, or it based on the previous sentences. Okay, so another example is that person one is telling that Rahul bought a new car and person two is telling that he loves it. So this is a conversation. Okay, so what we will do, our brain automatically understands that he is equal to Rahul and it is equal to car. So this is an example for discourse integration. What our brain does based on the previous first sentence or the first conversation, our brain is trying to understand that he is equal to Rahul and it is equal to car. Okay, this is one of the example for discourse integration. So next topic is pragmatic analysis. During this, what was said is reinterpreted on what it actually meant. So you can tell like pragmatic analysis means that understanding the intended meaning behind what someone says based on the different situation. It can be different context or the real world knowledge or the situation. So it goes beyond literal meaning and asks what does the speaker actually mean. For example, if you're considering a question that is, can you open the window? What is the literal meaning? It is asking about your literal ability. What? Asking about your ability. So it means that, or the question means that it is actually requesting you to open the window. So this understanding is known as pragmatic analysis. Okay. Next is next example you can take like it is very cold here. Okay. This is a statement about the temperature. So in pragmatic analysis, the person will try to understand the real intention. That is, person may be indirectly asking to close the door or switch off the AC. Okay, so what pragmatic analysis focuses on? This focuses on the speaker's intended meaning using context and real world knowledge. It helps understand the indirect request, emotions, and implied meanings. So, a pragmatic analysis deduces that this sentence is a metaphor for how people emotionally connect with the place. So, in this video, we just went through the introduction to NLP. That is, we saw some applications like sentimental analysis, text extraction, text classification, and email filter. And after that, we saw the components of NLP. There are mainly two components, that is natural language understanding and natural language generation. And after that, we moved into the steps in NLP. There are mainly five major steps. These steps include lexical analysis, syntactic analysis, which is also known as parsing, then semantic analysis, discourse integration, and pragmatic analysis. Thus, we come to the end of our fifth module. Thank you.